Here's the Steam Deck, right? This is an OLED. If you are coming from an OLED, this is a big point I want to make early on in the beginning. If you are coming from an OLED device and you're trying to go to a LCD, you're crazy. If you're going from an LCD to an OLED, you're in for a good time. But nobody ever goes OLED and then goes back unless it's absolutely necessary. I would never have bought this one if the OLED version was out. Nobody does it. That doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you, no one goes OLED back to LCD. And that's the exact reason why I would never buy the Ally X, Xbox Ally X to be stated. I'm sorry. There is never a time where I feel like I could be comfortable going from an OLED screen back to an LCD and be like, that's good enough for me. It'll never be good enough. And that's why you would always want to spend the extra money just to get everything you want. So if you're coming from a Steam Deck OLED, you're already going to be getting a significant increase in performance. You're going to still have that OLED screen. And down the line, you might be able to just throw Bazite on there or even Steam OS General in order for you to kind of make that into your updated Steam Deck until next time. For me personally, I feel like there is a ton of value that people dismiss when it comes for a Windows device. I get it, it's bloated, blah, blah, blah. I did a pretty decent video, I suppose, on creating the Lenovo Legion Go and trying to make it like, console like, comparing it to the Steam Deck and all that other stuff. I still feel that the Legion Go had great capabilities and there was trade-offs between that and the Steam Deck. And that was just the LCD model. Once the OLED came out, it was like I don't want the Legion Go no more. I'm looking at this beautiful OLED. So that was the problem when it came to the Legion Go versus the Steam Deck for me. Now that we have a Legion Go 2 with an OLED, I'm sorry that that's the biggest selling point for me, but it is. With an OLED, I'm not losing out on anything. I'm getting VRR. I am getting HDR. I am getting a higher resolution. I am still getting that form factor that I actually really like. I really like detachable controllers. I like the tablet form. I like a kickstand. I had to buy a freaking D brand one, and the thing sucks. It's the worst kickstand I ever played with. I like kickstands. I like things that will create a better visual and user experience for me. And those are things that does that. I want to be able to play it with a controller because guess what? All games aren't meant to be played on a handheld. And if you have the ability to carry around a controller for yourself that's actually good in ergonomics and like really feels good, how is that not valuable to you? Like trying to play Call of Duty on a handheld, you're going to get cooked. But if you got a controller there that's already with the device, that's a good time, man. I'm just saying there's a lot of value in what Legion Go 2 is doing, and they're innovative. It's actually an innovative device. There's not a lot of value in just buying another Ally. It's just not for me. If I'm going from a Ally X to a Xbox Ally X, that is such a bad jump. It's ridiculous. Going from a Legion Go to a Legion Go 2, that OLED is the big value. The big value, the ergonomics, the actual higher range for the VRR. They didn't even have VRR on the other one. Sorry, I forgot about that. And it wasn't a VRR screen. It was just a very high refresh rate. It didn't have VRR though, which was kind of weird to me. I didn't know why that kind of worked that way, but whatever. It now has VRR. It has a lot of new things to bring to the table, and that's why I'm buying it. I don't care if it costs a little bit more. That's the value of the ergonomics, the screen. And if you are someone that is comfortable with, just buying those things and not having the best of performance, they have one that's $100 more than the Ally Xbox Ally X. Yeah, I wouldn't buy that one because to me, I'm always gonna be thinking, well, I should just bought the bigger one, regardless of how I feel about it, because I don't think the future of handheld gaming is in local play. I think it's all gonna go to streaming, and I think you just really want to buy a good screen, and that's why I'm buying the one with the OLED, with the VRR, with the 144 hertz, with the better range, with the HDR. Like all of that makes sense because that screen is going to last a long time, regardless of whether or not that console or handheld can no longer run games natively in a way that I feel comfortable because I can always stream to it. And that screen is going to take care of the rest. That's what I'm looking at visually. So a big component to a lot of people's divide on this is probably who has experience and who has not experienced an OLED. And it can be broken down to as simple as that. The biggest selling point will always be one has an OLED, one does not. And most people that have never experienced that will always be like, write it off. Um, but there is so much more to the Legion Go 2 to me that makes it a valuable purchase. There's so much more from a jump from that old Legion Go to the Legion Go 2 than that Ally X to the Xbox Ally X. Those are totally different ballparks for me. And that extra money that you're spending to kind of get that better experience, I wouldn't call it double the price better, but I would say that they have at least tried to hit all the marks when it comes to their upgrade. For me, on the Xbox Ally X, going from the Ally X to that, I just don't see the value in it. And if I never had an Ally X, sure, that's perfect. But if I'm sitting around holding on to an Ally X, that is not enticing enough to make me move. And it's definitely not enticing enough to make me go from an OLED back to an LCD. It's just never going to happen. So, with all that being said, you have to purchase based off of what you truly are invested in. For me, I'm invested in, bed play. So I sit the tablet there. I hook the controllers up to some third party, whatever. I'm gonna buy another third party thing. And I can hook it up to make it a controller and feel good, in ergonomically or whatever. And I'm going to just sit there and play like a console on a little tablet that's plugged up, that's more likely giving me a great experience with that screen and how big it is. And then when I want to take it on the go, I'm going to attach those controllers again and I'm going to move around the house. Outside of that, I'm always going to have the best visual experience, whether or not I decide that streaming is the future of gaming, which I kind of do agree that a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford to game natively. That's going to be a luxury. To me, it's already becoming a luxury. It costs too much. But for now, this is where we are. Once it becomes incapable of running these games and these things natively, I can see this Legion Go 2 lasting me 5 years versus that Ally or Xbox Ally X lasting me two, maybe. That's the difference because you're going to be chasing a race of power, 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 and they're not going to be giving you the reward you're actually looking for. I think these handhelds, there is something big coming next with this AMD going into the Zen 5 and kind of placing RDNA 4 on handhelds, but these devices can do that as well. So the big component of this all is, well, how much stock do you put in those features? Because that's the big selling point to me. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna have a lot of coverage on the channel, so stay tuned on that. But yeah, these handhelds, they're going to keep getting more expensive. You have to start thinking about, if I'm going to future proof something, what should I be future proofing? Should I be future proofing the the screen? Should I be future proofing the sound design, the sound, the speakers? Should I be future proofing the ergonomics? Should I be future proofing the sticks? All effect, by the way. Like, what should you be looking for when it comes to a perfect handheld from here to the next 3 to 4 years, 5 years? And I say the Legion Go 2 is the one that's hitting that mark the best. That's pretty much it, though. Thank y'all for watching. As always, I'm not going to waste y'all time, so thank you. See y'all next one.